Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Prathamesh. Without wasting our time, let's begin. And if you like, please like, share, and subscribe.
When mobile networks fail today, regulators usually levy massive administrative fines. But that money is swallowed by state accounts, leaving subscribers entirely uncompensated. The Nigerian Communications Commission's April 2026 mandate departs from this macro-level approach to focus on individual user experiences. The policy shifts the regulatory focus away from broad state penalties toward a system of direct, micro-level consumer restitution. This framework applies to the major mobile network operators, specifically MTN, Airtel, Globacom, and 9mobile, distinguishing them from the rules governing internet service providers. This forces financial accountability down to the specific user affected by a drop in service, ensuring that network operators pay the people they serve rather than just the government. Processing individual compensation claims for millions of subscribers during a nationwide outage is an administrative impossibility. No manual system could handle that volume of verification. To bridge this gap, the NCC framework uses an automated data pipeline and a Boolean Logic Matrix to instantly filter and verify qualifying users. For a payout to occur, 3 specific data vectors must align: spatial location, temporal alignment, and verified economic activity. Automated compensation isn't a blanket refund. It is a targeted algorithmic process designed to extract only the users mathematically proven to have been affected by a specific failure. The first step in this automated logic gate is the formal recognition of a service failure. Legacy monitoring systems often track network performance at the state level. This macro view averages out data, meaning a severe outage in one city can be hidden by perfect service in another. To fix this, the NCC has shifted monitoring down to the local government area level. This higher resolution allows the regulator to see what is actually happening on the ground. By tracking performance LGA by LGA, the system can pinpoint the exact geographic boundaries of a network failure as it happens. The system monitors specific quality of service metrics in real time, including call completion rates, latency, and total network downtime. Compensation only becomes a possibility once these local metrics drop below a legally mandated threshold. This granular monitoring provides the trigger event that initiates the entire restitution engine. Once a failure is recorded, the system passes through its first logic gate, spatial temporal alignment. There is a strict temporal requirement. The operator's backend must log the exact start and end times of the outage. For the initial rollout, the NCC is focusing on failures recorded between November 2025 and January 2026. The system then queries the database to see which specific mobile devices were physically pinging towers inside that affected LGA during that exact window of time. Any device located outside those spatial boundaries, or those active only before or after the outage, are automatically filtered out. This leaves a verified pool of users who are mathematically confirmed to be in the failed network zone at the right time. This eliminates the fraud common in manual systems, where users try to claim restitution for regional outages they didn't actually experience. Spatial temporal alignment successfully narrows millions of subscribers down to a verified local pool. The process then moves to the final filter: economic interaction. Under this framework, simply having an idle phone in the affected area is not enough to qualify for a payout. A subscriber must have attempted at least one revenue-generating activity during the downtime window to be eligible. This includes 3 categories: attempting a billed call, sending an SMS, or initiating a data session. Once a user is verified as active, the dynamic calculation engine determines the precise value of the credit they are owed. The algorithm weighs the severity of the specific outage against the subscriber's historical average spending pattern. This ensures that heavy data users who lose service during a major failure receive a higher credit than light users, making the restitution both fair and mathematically consistent. With the back-end verification complete, the results are pushed to the end user. The major innovation here is the total removal of administrative friction. The consumer is required to take 0 action: no forms, no apps, and no formal complaints. The calculated airtime credit is injected directly into the user's account automatically. The user receives an automated SMS notification explaining exactly why the credit was applied and which service failure triggered it. The logic gate is clear: local QoS trigger plus spatial temporal presence plus revenue activity equals automated restitution. This shift transfers the burden of proof from the consumer to the operator. It forces the NCC has built a system where poor service inherently costs the operator, creating a self-regulating standard for network reliability. In April 2026, the Nigerian Communications Commission successfully activated a new mandate that fundamentally changes how telecom regulation operates. Historically, when a telecom network failed, regulators relied on macroscopic administrative fines. The operator paid a financial penalty, but that money went directly to the Central Commission. The new framework abandons this centralized model. Instead of punishing operators with fines paid to the state, the mandate forces direct restitution to the consumer. Compensation is now issued automatically as airtime credits, straight to the user's account, bypassing the need for anyone to file a formal bureaucratic claim. Shifting a national infrastructure from macro fines to automated micro restitution requires reconfiguring how network data is tracked and processed. The first point of failure in the legacy system was statistical. Regulators were tracking network health broadly at the state level. This creates data masking. Averaging statewide mathematically smooths out severe localized outages. Dashboards might show 98% uptime, while thousands simultaneously experience total failure. To fix this, the NCC shifted tracking down to the local government area, or LGA, level, preventing operators from hiding regional outages. You cannot automate restitution if your data models obscure the actual outages. Establishing this high-resolution LGA tracking is the prerequisite for the automated model. With the grid in place, the NCC needs a precise technical definition for what constitutes a service failure within an isolated LGA. To trigger a payout, network performance must drop below strict quality of service, or QoS, benchmarks. The framework monitors 3 distinct real-time telemetry metrics to detect an anomaly. This diagram shows how those metrics are tracked. The first is call completion rates. A sudden drop in successfully connected calls acts as the initial indicator of a localized failure. The second metric is latency. Here, the system watches for delays in data transmission. Spikes like this indicate network congestion or routing failures, which degrade beta sessions even if a connection is technically active. The third and most severe metric is absolute network downtime, where infrastructure stops responding. These metrics are continuously tracked and reported in real time by the mobile network operators themselves. When any of these telemetry lines cross their designated regulatory threshold, the NCC officially records an LGA failure event. Precise telemetry isolates exactly when and where a failure occurs. The next operational challenge is figuring out exactly who is owed money. The system must sift through a massive national user base to find affected subscribers, without relying on them to complain. To do this, the framework relies on a tripartite eligibility algorithm. This visualizes a 3-layer verification gate operating on the back end to filter subscriber data. The first layer is spatial verification. To pass this gate, the user's SIM must have been definitively geolocated within the boundaries of the affected LGA during the event. The remaining data points then hit Gate 2, temporal alignment. This verifies that the subscriber's physical presence in the LGA aligned exactly with the recorded window of the network downtime. Finally, the remaining points reach the narrowest filter, behavioral validation. This gate imposes the strictest requirement. The user must have actively attempted a revenue-generating activity while the outage was occurring. That means the subscriber tried to initiate a billed call, send an SMS, or run an active data session. This prevents the system from compensating dormant SIM cards, devices turned off, or users who simply weren't trying to use the network. Only users who successfully navigate all 3 autonomous gates are locked in for compensation, ensuring regulatory enforcement without generating false positives. Once a user is verified, the system executes the final computational step, determining the exact financial value of their airtime credit. The refund is not a flat, uniform rate distributed equally across the user base. Instead, an automated calculation engine weighs 2 specific variables: the subscriber's historical average spend and the failure's severity. It calculates the user's typical spending patterns against the level of service degradation in their specific geographic location. The algorithm outputs a custom refund, scaling the penalty proportionally to both the user's economic profile and the depth of the infrastructure failure. Implementing this logic nationwide requires a massive data pipeline. The mandate applies automatically to Nigeria's primary mobile network operators, MTN, Airtel, Globacom, and 9mobile. The initial rollout in April 2026 relies on a specific retrospective data window. The first phase of compensations retroactively targets verified service failures recorded between November 2025 and January 2026. There is a defined boundary to this mandate regarding internet service providers. Independent ISPs are explicitly excluded from this automatic rule, as they are governed by a separate pre-existing compensation framework. Securing the mobile network space first establishes a precedent for how consumer data and network performance are linked in the digital economy. While the back-end processing is heavily engineered, the user experience is frictionless. The final autonomous action is a direct deposit. The calculated airtime credit is injected straight into the user's active balance. To ensure transparency, the framework requires operators to send an immediate SMS notification. This message outlines why the refund was issued, the affected location, and the specific value of the credit. A localized dropped packet is tracked via LGA telemetry, verified through a tripartite algorithm, and converted straight into a deposit in a user's wallet. Combining granular local data with automated eligibility logic proves that regulatory bodies can replace bureaucratic claims with silent, documented restitution.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like this, please share and subscribe. Bye. We will meet in next video.